Hello everyone and welcome back. Another beautiful day here. So today we're going to be still in Leviticus. We're on 9:19 and we're going to keep working our way through. So last time we were here together, we were talking about how Aaron and his sons were going to get consecrated. And to make sure that they were holy, they had to wait 7 days inside of the tent to make sure that the consecration did its thing. Maybe it was just Aaron. I don't know. We're going to find out. I think it was. Yeah. Aaron needed to be consecrated. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick up where we left off and kind of keep going. And as I come to stuff, I'm going to stop. So, but yeah, let's get to it. So I'm going to go back before I go forward. Okay. So Aaron and his sons did all the things which the Lord had commanded through Moses. And it happened on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said to Aaron, take a bull calf as a sin offering and a ram as a burnt offering, each without blemish, and offer both of them before the Lord. Then say to the Israelites, take a male goat as a sin offering and a calf and a lamb, both 1 year old, without blemish, as a burnt offering, and a bull and a ram as a peace offerings to sacrifice before the Lord, and a grain offering mixed with olive oil, for today the Lord will appear to you. Well, that's exciting. Is he going to only the back? Or is he going to be, I wonder what he's going to be, like a cloud or something maybe? So they took what Moses had commanded to the front of the tent of meeting, and all of the congregation approached and stood before the Lord. Moses said, this is the thing which the Lord has commanded you to do, so that the glory of the Lord may appear to you. Moses said to Aaron, approach the altar and present your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and for your people, and present the offering of the people and make atonement for them, just as the Lord has commanded. So Aaron approached the altar and killed the calf as a sin offering, which was designated for himself. The sons of Aaron presented the blood to him. He dipped his finger in the blood and put some of it on the horns of the altar, and poured the rest of the blood at the altar's base. But the fat, the kidneys, and the lobe of the liver from the sin offering he offered up in smoke on the altar, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. And Aaron burned the meat and the hide in the fire outside the camp. Then he killed the burnt offering. And Aaron's sons handed the blood to him, and he sprinkled it around the altar. They brought the burnt offering to him piece by piece with the head, and Aaron offered them up in smoke on the altar. He also washed the entrails and the legs, and offered them up in smoke with burnt offering on the altar. Then Aaron presented the people's offering. He took the goat for the sin offering of the people, and he killed it and offered it for sin, as he did the first. He also presented the burnt offering and offered it according to the ordinance. Next, Aaron presented the grain offering and took a handful of it and offered it up in smoke on the altar in addition to the burnt offering of the morning. He also killed the bull and the ram, the sacrifice of the peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons handed the blood to him, and he sprinkled it around on the altar. As for the portions of fat from the bull and from the ram, the fat tail and the fat covering the internal organs and the kidneys and the lobe of the liver. They now put the portions of fat on the breasts, and Aaron offered the fat up in smoke on the altar. But the breast and the right thigh Aaron presented as wave offering before the Lord, just as Moses had commanded. Then Aaron lifted his hand toward the people and blessed them, and came down from the altar of burnt offering, after presenting the sin offering, the burnt offering, and the peace offerings. Moses and Aaron went into the tent of meeting, and when they came out, they blessed the people, and the glory and brilliance of the Lord appeared to all the people as promised. Then fire came out before the Lord had consumed the burnt offering and the portions of fat on the altar. And when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell face down in awe and worship. So, with all this preparation, all of it, and he kept saying, this is the things that I need you to do. But he was true to his word. He said, I'm going to come see you. And now he did it. Actually followed through. Imagine if it didn't happen. They would have probably lost faith. But he did it. Now their faith is stronger than ever. And yeah, that's great. Now the sons of Aaron took their respective ceremonial censers, put fire in them, placed incense on it, and offered strange, unauthorized, and acceptable fire before the Lord, an act which he had not commanded them to do. Oh, that's not good. And the fire came out of the presence of the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. He gave specific instructions, very specific, and they didn't listen. And this is what happens when you don't listen to deities. They just get rid of you. Then Moses said to Aaron, "This is what the Lord said. I will be treated as holy by those who approach me, and before all the people I will be honored." So Aaron therefore said nothing. Moses called the sons of, I gotta look that up, the sons of Uzziel, who was Aaron's uncle, and said to them, "Come here, carry your relatives away from the front of the sanctuary and take them outside the camp." So they came forward and carried them, still in their undertunics, outside the camp, and Moses, as Moses had said. Then Moses said to Aaron and to his younger sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Do not uncover your heads, nor let your hair hang loose, nor tear your clothes, as expressions of mourning, so that you will not die also, and so that he will not express his wrath and anger toward all of the congregation." All of those boys had to do, all they had to do was do what was asked of them, and they didn't do it. And now the Father gave them the ultimate punishment. All they had to do. Tisk, tisk. But your relatives, the whole house of Israel, may mourn the burning which the Lord has brought about. You shall not even go out of the doorway of the tent of meeting, or you will die, for the Lord's anointing oil is upon you. So they did everything according to the word of Moses. Good job. Then the Lord spoke to Aaron, saying, "Do not drink wine or intoxicating drink, neither you nor your sons with you, when you come to the tent of meeting, so that you will not die. It is a permanent statute throughout your generations." So we can't drink wine. These people can't drink wine, and none of their people can drink wine or intoxicating drink. And to make distinction and recognize a difference between the holy and the common, between the ceremonial unclean and the clean, and you are to teach the Israelites all the statutes which the Lord has spoken to them through Moses. Then Moses said to Aaron and to his surviving sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, "Take the grain offering that is left over from the offerings by the fire to the Lord, and eat it unleavened beside the altar, for it is most holy. You shall eat it in a holy place, because it is your portion and your son's portion from the offerings by fire to the Lord, for so I have been commanded. But the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the heave offering you may eat in a clean place, you and your sons and daughters with you. For the breast and the thigh are your portion and your son's portion, given out of the sacrifices of the peace offerings of the Israelites. They shall bring the thigh presented by lifting up, and the breasts presented by waving, along with the offerings by fire of the fat, to present as a wave offering before the Lord. This shall be yours and your sons with you as your perpetual portion, just as the Lord hath commanded." So thighs and breasts forever. At least they're going to have food forever. As long as they can, anyway. But Moses diligently tried to find the goat that had been offered as a sin offering, and discovered that it had been burned up as waste and not eaten. So he was angry with Aaron's surviving sons, Eleazar and Ithamar, saying, "Why did you not eat the sin offering in the holy place? For it is the most holy. And God gave it to you to remove the guilt of the congregation, to make atonement for them before the Lord. Behold, its blood was not brought into the holy place. You certainly should have eaten the goat in the sanctuary, just as I commanded." Then Aaron said to Moses, "This very day they have obediently presented their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord. But such terrible things as these have happened to me and to them. If I and my sons have eaten a sin offering today, would it have been acceptable and pleasing in the sight of the Lord?" When Moses heard that, he was satisfied. The Lord spoke again to Moses and Aaron, saying to them, "Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Among all of the animals which are on the earth, these are the animals which you may eat. You may eat any animal that has a divided hoof, that is a hoof split into two parts, especially at its distal extremity, and choose the cud. Nevertheless, you are not to eat these among those which chew the cud or divide the hoof: the camel, because it chews the cud but does not divide the hoof. It is ceremonially unclean to you. And the shan, which it chews the cud but does not divide the hoof. It is unclean to you. And the hare, because it chews the cud but does not divide the hoof. It is unclean to you. And the swine, because it divides the hoof and makes a split hoof, but does not chew the cud. It is unclean to you. You shall not eat their meat, nor touch their carcasses. They are unclean. These you may eat, whatever is in the water, whatever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, these you may eat. But whatever does not have fins and scales in the seas and the rivers, of all teeming life in the waters, and of all living creatures that are in the waters, they are to be considered detestable to you. They shall be hated things to you. You may not eat their meat. You shall detest their carcasses. Everything in the water that does not have fins and scales is detestable to you. These you shall detest among the birds. They are not to be eaten, for they are hated things: the eagle and the vulture and the buzzard. The kite, every kind of falcon, every kind of raven, the ostrich, the nighthawk, the seagull, every species of hawk, the little owl and the cormorant, and the great owl, the white owl, the pelican, and the carrion vulture, the stork, all kinds of heron, the hoopie, and the bat. All winged insects that walk on all fours are detestable to you. Yet all winged insects that walk on all fours, you may eat those which have legs above their feet, with which to leap on the ground. Of these you may eat the whole species of migratory locust, of bald locust, of cricket, and of grasshopper. But all other winged insects which are four-footed are detestable to you. By contact with these you will become unclean. Whoever touches their carcasses becomes unclean until the evening. Until dusk. So you're just unclean until the nightfall, and then you're clean again. I guess it's a new day. And whoever picks up any of the carcasses shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the evening. Concerning all the animals which divide the hoof, but do not have a split hoof, or which do not chew the cud, they are unclean to you. Whoever touches them becomes unclean. And also all animals that walk on their paws, among all kinds of animals that walk on four legs, are unclean to you. Whoever touches their carcasses becomes unclean until the evening. Which is good, because who doesn't like fluffy, cute animals like dogs and cats? Like, that's good. They're companions, not food. Where we go? Okay. These are also unclean to you. the swarming things that crawl around on the ground and multiply profusely, the mole, the mouse, and any kind of great lizard, the gecko, crocodile, the lizard, the sand reptile, and the chameleon. These creatures are unclean to you among all that swarm. Whoever touches them when they are dead becomes unclean until evening. Also, anything on which one of them falls after dying becomes unclean, whether it is an article of wood or cloth or clothing or skin or a sack, any article that is used. It must be put in water. It will be unclean until evening, then it becomes clean. As for any earthenware container into which any of these crawling things falls, whatever is in it becomes unclean, and you shall break the container. Oh, man. I guess you got to do what you got to do, but if you just like made some food, and then it's like you left it open, and then something dies and falls in it, then you got to break it. You got to break the whole container. I guess you got to do what you got to do. It's such a waste, though. It is what it is. Any of the food which may be eaten, but on which unclean water falls, shall be unclean. And any liquid that may be drunk in every container shall become unclean. Everything that part of their carcass falls on becomes unclean. An oven or a small stove shall be smashed. They are unclean and shall be unclean to you. So, I guess we're still talking about bugs. Specific types of bugs. Maybe specific types of bugs. The mouses and the great lizard and the gecko and the crocodile. Like, these things are gross anyway, right? Especially the mouse. But then they fall in the container. You got to destroy the oven. You got to destroy it. You got to smash it up. You got to do what you got to do, though. It's what God has commanded. You don't have to like it. You just got to do it. Nevertheless, a spring or a cistern collecting water shall be clean, but whoever touches one of these carcasses shall be unclean. If a part of their carcass falls on any seed for sowing, which is to be sown, it's clean. Okay, so the seed's clean, I guess, because it has like a protective barrier, so it can't get to like the meat on the inside. But if water is put on the seed and the part of the carcass falls on it, it is unclean to you. If one of the animals that you may eat dies of natural causes, whoever touches its carcass becomes unclean until the evening. And whoever eats some of the meat shall wash its clothes and be unclean until evening. Also, whoever picks up its carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. Now, everything that swarms on the ground is detestable. It is not to be eaten. Whatever crawls on its belly, and whatever walks on all fours, and whatever has many feet among all things that swarm on the ground, you shall not eat, for they are detestable. So I guess things like centipedes and millipedes and bugs like that. Do not make yourselves loathsome, impure, repulsive, by eating any swarming thing. You shall not make yourselves unclean by them, so as to defile yourselves. For I am the Lord God, so consecrate yourselves and be holy, for I am holy. You shall not make yourselves unclean with any of the swarming things that swarm or crawl on the ground. For I am the Lord who brought you up from the land of Egypt to be your God. Therefore you shall be holy, for I am holy. Basically, I didn't do all of this for y'all to eat some stupid crap and get sick and die. This is what you will do, or I will punish you. This is what God does. Listen to me or you get punished. And it's worked out so far. People just keep getting deeper and deeper into faith. They're not going away from it. And it's like everything that he says proves out to be a positive thing. It's not negative yet, except for the people that don't listen. That's negative. This is the law regarding the animal and the bird and every living thing that moves in the waters and everything that swarms on the earth, to make a distinction between the ceremonial unclean and the ceremonially clean, and between the animal that may be eaten and the animal that may not be eaten. Interesting. We're going to stop there for today. So now we know what we can eat. Which, you're not supposed to eat pig, evidently. No swine. But if you wait, you know, it's unclean until night, until evening. But the thing is that's the most, at least now, swine is the most consumed meat in the world right now, I believe, is pig or pork. So we got so far away from our biblical teachings that we're just doing whatever we want. Or maybe it's because everything's so incredibly expensive that pork is the only meat that you can eat that's not expensive. Lord knows you can't get good beef. Lord knows chicken's expensive. Chicken used to be cheap, but it now ain't cheap no more. Unless you buy a whole chicken and cook it. That's like 99 cents a pound in 2026. Kind of makes you think, is this all planned? I think it is. But that's a story for another day. Thank you for coming to see me. Hope you have a great day. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good day.